into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal? Your choice is seminal. I want you to.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome everybody to another session of the Thorny Shields, the Night Shields, the Dark Thorns. Name will stick with me at some point. The Night Thorns. There we are. Session 5 of this campaign. YouTube is now up, so if you go searching for Pathfinding Adventures on YouTube, you will find our first 2 episodes are up there so far, and the remaining ones will be up in the coming days. Only took me 6 weeks, 7 weeks, but it's been fixed. Without further ado, we will step straight into the recap of last session, starting with Iodi.
Yes, while I'm sitting here looking for links to put in the chat. Very good. Well, scrap that. Let's see, last week, yes. We gathered throughout the inn, planning our next adventures, talking about various payments, etc., etc. Albertine decided she was going to kind of stay with us as we discussed all the new naming conventions and all those things. We decided we were going to be the Shieldy Night Thorn Evil Giga Chads. And then we all kind of gathered up for a steamy bath scene, which was definitely spicy, as we got attacked by a bunch of ghouls and undead friends. Marisol was running around with her little bathrobe on, doing battle, and it got a little spicy. The doors were blocked up. There was bodies everywhere. I got to do some scorching fire on things. Our friend Calazier, she deflected many blows with her shields and was an impenetrable fortress of health. And I will pass it to her.
Yeah. So Cal had just gotten her new armor with a very nice helmet that looked like a badger. And that helmet probably saved her life, as she took a pretty bad hit from a mummy to the head. Had her ears ringing a bit, but we survived. We killed all the undead. And realized how hard it is to fight in a restricted space like this. But luckily we had a few distance fighters like Marisol.
Yeah, so those zombie things came, and being late to a party, because I can't roll initiative, it seems, I did what I do best and shot some things in the head. And we survived pretty easily, actually. For me, I wasn't hurt. Someone else was. For instance, Mador.
Yeah. We finally got paid for our work that we'd done. We had a few things to do for a couple hours before we were given guest rooms up at the chapel for 3 days while we wait for the Grandmaster, I think the Grandmaster, to show up, because they're out looking for a dragon, I believe. At the time, we didn't know what type of dragon, but anyway, people did a little shopping. Cal and Leo went and got the name changed. We headed up to the chapel. We were all taking baths, and a little fox come running in talking about we had to get going because there was a undead dragon we all thought was coming here. So a lot of us already had our armor on running out when we found out it's a day to the north. He wants to go fight it. We said no. And then coming out of the fountain in the center of the courtyard, there were zombies, gas, ghouls, a white, a wizard, necromancer. Yeah, Cal took a. Well, actually, I took quite a bit of hit myself. Actually, came close to death more than you think. But we did succeed. And Zara.
Yeah, we had a nice calm session. We traveled to town safely and we had all these pleasant discussions and then, surprise, end of session, here's 30 dudes to fight, which is always fun and exciting. Luckily our undead hating druid got us all roused up to not go fight an undead dragon cuz we ain't, gonna go get our characters re-rolled. But it was a good session. Much shopping was be had. And I think we're rolling into some downtime so we can get some more money and get some more items built up so that we can go kill more stuff. So we'll see how that ends up going. And speaking of undead hating druids, let's just go to Ed.
Yeah, downtime to get more gear to go kill more stuff like an undead dragon. Yeah. Pretty much everything's been said. My little fox ears overheard something about a dragon, wanted to go kill it, ended up killing a lot of other undead instead. Yeah, that's about it. Who hasn't gone?
That's me.
Preacher.
So, of course, I kicked a lot of zombie butt as well as a wall, but that we don't mention the wall. It had it coming. It looked really offensive. Just gotta say. The other person that kicked a lot of zombie butt, or head in this case, was Albertine, that took out a broom or something and basically did a lot of headshots, poked heads to the wall. Basically, I think she killed like 2 or 3 of them. Which was kind of hilarious. So yeah, she's definitely destined to do something. Yeah, absolutely, totally. So yeah, we had a fairly serious and long fight. I tried to subdue the dastardly wizard when Cal basically said, "Nope, he dead," and cleaved him from head to mid chest somewhere. So yeah, it was a fun fight. Downtime ahead. Over to Mr. Shorty.
There we are. Yes, indeed. You had your fight, and pretty much barely scraped through. But you did do it, slaying a metric fuck ton of undead in the courtyard, in the guests' quarters of the. Raven Guard quarters. And yes, when we say it, Shago, it's your turn, Shago goes. But we skip Leo, so let us get him in here.
Yeah, not a lot to add. The knights that we met at the Ethereal Drum turned out to be named Berengar, who is the male knight, and Tulukumpf. Tulukumpf. He was the female knight. We did the travel to Ravensbridge. Went to the Solar's Rest, which had a very interesting sign outside of the Solar Azima, of course. Lots of pixies and stuff, which were fun and different. Carl and Leo went to the Mercenaries Guild, or whatever it was, and they renamed the group the Night Thorns, and Leo stumped up the cash, which I'll have to see Zara about getting it back later. Just as Leo was trying to cool his flaming cheeks after the sight of Marisol walking around not wearing very much at all, we got mugged by the zombies. Then Leo spent his first fight at close quarters, and, slashing and stabbing things and trying to help out where he could. They're definitely, very, very definitely trying not to stare at Marisol. Yeah, we killed the necromancer, got some loot, and now back to Shoggy.
Yes, so you've had the time to bathe, sleep a bit, and get some relaxation done before the day starts. Most of you have had something like a 4 to 6 hour nap when daybreak comes. Either sitting in a chair, dozing, sleeping in your bed, or in Mother's case, not sleeping at all, but helping that sergeant with the slippery name I never remember, Sergeant McNaught, stand guard. And yeah, you've gotten to know him pretty well. He's a fairly young human, 25 years old. One thing Mother has learned is that he's not actually a sergeant by rank. The footmen in the Raven Guard Knightly Order are called sergeants, all of them, to distinguish them from regular soldiers, and also in case they interact with regular soldiers in that aren't knights or affiliated with a knightly order, they have the rank just by default. But in their own case, they have a more temple-oriented set of ranks that Mador hasn't quite wrapped his head around yet. But yeah, Mador's also gotten a pretty fantastic breakfast. As he and Sergeant Mignard seems the knights feed the people on watch first. So you've actually gotten an excellent meat pie with a flaky, crunchy crust and a high-quality beef in it. There might have been a vegetable or two in there, but mostly just for show. It's meat and sauce. 90% of that thing. In addition to the Raven Guard's own beer, not served outside of their stronghold. So even though Mador's been standing guard, he's actually feeling pretty refreshed as the day comes up. And as you all gather for breakfast, Severin, the cleric of Coronas that you fought with earlier this night, enters and looks at Cal and Mador mostly. Gives everybody else a nod, but she's looking at Cal and Mador while she's speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, if it is not too much to ask, we would like to offer you room and board until the Knightly Order have returned, in return for your cooperation and help in guarding Lady Albertine until she has gotten the training she needs to defend herself. We will, of course, I will spend the day seeing if I can find safer accommodations for you than this courtyard with a well full of ghouls. This will be sealed off by the few sergeants we have available currently. We cannot pay you much more than we have done, but you will have a place to sleep and be able to eat in the nightly mess hall without any expense for the duration of your stay in Ravensbridge, even should the knights return later today. Currently, that is the best offer I can give you, as the Grand Master is not here to authorize any more spending from the treasury.
Before you seal the well, I would like to send my bird down there and scout it.
Very well. If that is something you would do for us, then I will detail a few of the sergeants to stand guard over you while you do this.
And I will send Lyrian to scout the well.
Yep.
Cal is looking over to Madar. So, guard duty for food and room. I mean, I may be able to buy that shield.
Well, I offered myself to the guard duty. I know you had other plans. I didn't know you were accepted too.
Yeah, I wanted to learn from the smith, but
Oh, be aware, this offer, of course, is for the entire band of the Night Thorns. All we ask is that 2 of you stay with the Lady Albertine, and the rest can pretty much do whatever they want, as long as can know that she has bodyguards. Currently,
Sergeant.
I cannot detail any more sergeants. We are already skeleton staffed as is, and it seems the fortress is
I will stay with
vulnerable.
Albertine.
So your shift rotation, I'm certain you can figure something out. If you need any healing or feel any diseases, please come to me and I will do it for free while you are in our employ. Normally there would be a small fee, but as long as you are working to keep one of our own safe, you will be counted as one of our own when it comes to all the services that the Order of the Raven Guard can offer.
I don't think Albertine particularly cares for me. She always makes comments about my evil eyes. But I'll do my best.
Well, it will be good for her to learn that even though you have a scary exterior, you are not necessarily her enemy. It will be important for her in her role as a champion of Geb to understand this.
Well, I think that your terms are most acceptable to us, Severin. We shall be glad to accept, and I'm sure we can work out a rota should the people need to go somewhere else.
Excellent. In that case, I believe we have an agreement. Do we not?
I would say we do. Anyone?
Agreed.
yeah,
Sounds good to me.
Kel,
yeah.
how much more money do you need for your shield?
I think it costs 100 gold pieces. I have about 59.
Okay.
I mean, I could sell the shield that I have now, and then I will be a little bit closer, but not much.
I think we can solve that by the end of the week.
Yeah, we cannot have our main shield bearer with an insufficient shield.
Well, I will leave you to discuss the details while I try to find a safer accommodation for you.
One moment. I will see if I can assist you with the closing of this well, if that is agreeable.
Well,
have
it
some
is.
skill.
It is very much agreeable if this is a thing you would do.
I have some skill regarding fortifications.
Ah, yes. Well, please do not hesitate. Right. And any scenes you want to play out before we go to the downtime, which we will do
Hell yes.
individually? And that is obviously, yeah. if nobody else has any scenes they want to do, we will go straight to Preacher and Adamir, who are with the well. And then we'll just go the round, because that is downtime time. Downtime time. Okay, yes. So, Adamir and Preacher, together with Severine and 8 sergeants, wielding those staffs with the bells on, or having a look at the well. Give me a whatever role you feel is correct for Edamir using the bird. My excuses, I'm a bit sleep deprived.
Do you want the bird to do like a perception, or?
Yes, that would be ideal. And it'll get a +2 to that roll from Preacher's engineering skill as
So
well.
17.
So yeah, turns out about at the bottom of the well, the water has drained out into a tunnel, and as Lyrian flies through it, you're very glad you sent Lyrium to check it out, because as he exits the tunnel, he suddenly is in mid-air with the ground several hundred feet below him. It seems the ghouls climbed one of the bridge support columns up, and then tunneled up straight into the well, indicating that they had prior knowledge of the layout.
How deep is the well? I asked Edamir this. How deep is the well before it connects to the outside? How deep down is this current shaft?
30 feet, not very deep. Just deep enough that you can see there's still a hanging globule of water, obviously some sort of enchantment that's constantly creating more water, which is running down the tunnel the ghouls dug. Not at a huge rate, but enough that it would probably fill the daily needs of this fortress.
Definitely made it look like nothing was suspicious or going on.
Then I have an
Whoever's
idea.
leading this is smart.
Yep, I have an idea. First off, we see what we can do to block the tunnel, obviously. It would be best if we actually could raise it, but I don't know what that would do to the entire structure here. But if we somehow block that tunnel and then let the water level accumulate and rise, that can actually serve as a kind of warning that if the water level suddenly drops, the tunnel is suddenly open again. Somebody is using it.
Right, we can do that. And we would also need to check all the other wells and make sure that they're safe.
Yep. And lastly, I suggest we also make a strong hatch here, because obviously you will want to draw water from it, but it's got to be secured.
We'll probably need a strong hatch on all the wells.
Yep.
If we could devise a way to, like, make it to where they can't come up the bridge pillars, that'd be great too.
Also hard, though. We'll have to look at those separately.
Severine looks over at you and, well, you seem to have a lot of skill in this, Master Preacher. We would happily hire your services.
Well, I do have some memories of fortifications over the last couple of millennia, but yeah, it's going to be. I can't claim a master's salary, but I will have to do a little bit of experimental and remembered stuff. So, not quite a master, but I will certainly help.
Well, sir, I would be happy to pay you for helping our fortifications. I currently have a slight amount of of gold available for reinforcing and just maintaining the keep. I can offer you a salary of 4 gold pieces per day.
That is agreeable. I will require some materials, both mortar and stone, as well as possibly iron reinforcements.
Well, sir, we will have craftsmen available to do your bidding. You will need to oversee this project.
Absolutely.
And of course, with Master Edemir as your assistant, I can offer Master Edemir a salary of 2 gold per day to assist you. As I see the value of having a bird's eye view, if you will, on looking at these.
That sounds good to me.
Right. Be mindful that I can work in 3 shifts a day. I only sleep 2 hours per night.
Very well. I cannot hire laborers for more than 1 shift, though. I don't have the budget for it.
That's fine. I will extend my guard hours with Albertine.
Much appreciated. Please do tell me if there's anything else that I can assist you with.
Not sure, but we'll have to have a look at those bridge pillars and see how we can devise something to prevent people from climbing it. That's a hard one, other than bearing it smooth, basically.
The bridge pillars not being part of our fortress, I would have to speak to the town's lord and lady for us to be allowed to do anything at all to them. So, if you wouldn't mind, focus on the fortress primarily. And any thoughts on the bridge pillars, we will see what you come up with, and we will give you a commensurate bonus at the end if the lord and lady buy your plan.
Very well. Well, yeah. I will have a lot of thinking to do here, obviously. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Downtime, otherwise, for me. Do you want that now, or?
If you want to be earning this will pretty much eat your downtime.
Yes. Other than that, I was desiring some crafting. So not crafting for myself, but buying it, actually.
That can easily be done. Same for Edemir. You'll also have time to do your animal training, as this will eat 8 hours of your day, basically. So, and well, Ed can easily do the animal training while using the animals to sniff out weaknesses.
Excellent.
Any crafting you want done? Do you want to see how many days of downtime you get once we're done with everybody, so you know what gold you have to play with, or do you want to do it right now?
I think I can do it right now because I only have the one thing. I basically want to purchase a craft of a rune of striking +1, and have it mounted on my wraps.
Right. Yeah, that will be a cost of 65 gold.
Yep, I have that, and I can deduct that.
Very well.
And I would like to try to buy a channel protection amulet again.
You're going to have to specify that for me a bit more. A general protection.
It's a channel protection amulet. It's an item.
Ah, yes. Channel
Price
protection.
of 56.
That is actually something that Severine can sell you. She will sell it to you for 50. So you are currently working for them.
And that'll be it for me.
Right. In that case, we'll jump over to Marisol.
Yeah. So as soon as breakfast is done and I have made sure I don't have the first watch of Albertine, I will head down to the city and look up the local law enforcement.
Yes. Indeed. The local law enforcement. Give me just a minute to find that name here. The local law enforcement is, or the local constable, you can say, is Etienne Sharp. Elderly man, obviously a veteran of war. Not too tall, about 5 feet is your guess, but he makes up for it in being roughly as wide. It seems to be have gotten to the age where he doesn't leave the office too much. You'd guess he's pushing 60. But he still offers Marisol a cup of black bean brew and smiles as he offers her a seat. And like, well, I hear you're a bounty hunter of some notoriety.
I am. I also worked as a sheriff's deputy in Greenhill.
Ah. We don't get many travelers from Greenhill here, but your township. Last I heard, Greenhill didn't have much more than 300 inhabitants, but I know it's growing rapidly. Has a very stellar reputation when it comes to law enforcement.
Indeed, it's run tightly. I was wondering if there was anything I could do for you.
Yes, absolutely. There was an attack, as you well know, on the fortress of the Raven Guard. I want you to put your nose down and see if you can sniff out any co-conspirators in the city.
I will do that.
If you find them, contact the constabulary so we can back you up before any trouble arrives. If you find success, there is probably someone I can put you into contact with, but I will need to see your skills firsthand.
I understand. No problems.
We have a picture, a sketch of one person we believe is a conspirator. He hands her a beautiful sketch. Looks almost lifelike.
Perfect. This is just what I need. I will hunter's mark this dude and get ready to get to work.
Right. So that'll be a DC 22 hunting skill. At least if you plan on doing it alone.
You know what? I'm gonna go ask Leopold if he wants to come with me hunting for people.
Yes, you're going to have to ask him if we can get Leopold's picture as well.
Hey, Leopold, are you busy?
None, Marcel. I was just about to go and see the local constable. What is it?
I just come from there. I was wondering if you would like to go hunting with me.
I would like this very much.
I hand him the sketch, and this is who we're looking for. He is possibly one of the conspirators in the attack on the keep. So they want to question him.
Well, I will know if we get near him, but I cannot track him from this picture. You have slightly more experience as a bounty hunter you with the sheriff's deputy. Can you use this to look for this person?
I can, but I'd prefer to have some backup. So let's go.
Yeah, let us go and do this.
Okay. I see that Leo is not trained in hunting, but he's going to give you a +2 to your roll.
So
Well,
30.
yeah, that's a. Actually, with your hunter's mark, how much is that?
32 then, because my hunter's mark gives me +2.
32. Okay. Very well. That is that for you guys currently. We will pop over to Zara.
Yes. So Zara actually has kind of a shady background and happens to quite enjoy smuggle work. She's going to go into a stroll into the less savory parts of town and find herself some work moving items.
Okay. There's not a big smugglers market here currently. As the knights generally have pretty good control over a settlement this small, but all of the knights are out at the moment. So Zara has the opportunity to try to establish a network of her own. Smuggling, well, at her guess, the most profitable thing would be smuggling medicinal and alchemical herbs. That would also be bringing the greatest risk, of course. But that is what mostly keeps this town floating when it comes to income. So it's up to Sarah exactly how she wants to do that.
Well, I suppose the first part would be organizing contacts and things, but that's not quite the easy turn of money I was hoping for. But we certainly could give it a try. Start establishing a smuggler's ring. That could be long-term profits.
Indeed. One of the evenings, on the first evening actually, before going home, Sarah is frequenting one of the less savory establishments in the merchants and trading quarter when a very muscular elderly dwarf approaches her. You see from his hands that he's probably spent most of his life doing heavy labor, but he currently he's just dressed in a regular outfit of pants and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up and a rather nice looking vest with the emblem of the Miners Guild on it. He just comes up, picks up the young halfling gentleman Sarah's talking to, and halfway throws him from the seat. The halfling gets up and starts pulling a knife. He just gets a look, and then he decides to go be somewhere else, less hazardous to his health. So the dwarf sits down and nods over to the barkeep, who brings over 2 of the most expensive glasses of wine he has in the tavern, which still, compared to what Zara had for breakfast, is vinegary piss. He looks up at Zara and like, I know you.
I would hope so. I'm the only one of me in town.
We don't need to discuss how I know you or what I know you for. But I'm here to give you an offer. There's
I like offers.
tenacious member of our mining guild that has turned traitor and disappeared. with several ingots of mithril. I know you're kind. I know you're not going to be staying here for long. Adventurers never do, but I would pay you handsomely to spend your time here to sniff out his trail and crack down on any other smuggler stealing from the Miner Guild. And if you can pick up his trail and deliver us his head, you will get to keep the mithril. We have mithril. Here it's the... how do you say it in human? It's the principle of the thing. The mithril should be worth around 2,000 gold. That is less than we earn in a day in Golden Glens as a whole. But for his head, we would give you 1,200 gold coins. If you deliver him alive so he can be hanged, we will double that amount.
Who could say no to an offer like that?
A very foolish person. Smuggling, I know, it can be a lucrative business, which is why the guilds pay people with, what can we say, understanding of the less savory aspect of smuggling a lot of gold to make certain it stops happening.
Are there wages for busting the rings a little more consistently? 1,200 gold payouts lucrative, but it doesn't keep me fed while I hunt.
Well, here in Ravensbridge, the smuggling guilds, they are not so large, not so powerful. However, I can offer you 1 gold piece per day for the grunt work, legwork you're doing, with a bonus of 50 if you manage to find the trail that tells you where this traitor is. And as I like the way you look, what can I say? I have always been weak for cute girls with blue skin. Even if you should fail to find the trail this time, we will still pay you 25. I'm not going to specify coinage. The mining guild does not deal in silver and copper when we talk about finding smugglers. His name is Martin Schürler.
With the best rolls.
I am Niels Paul. I will hand you the gifts are a little, maybe 5 by 3 inch inscribed steel plate. Very thin, very finely made. Show this at the mining guild. In any city, and they will pay you according to whatever. According to whatever you deliver.
Sounds good. Even better that I can work as I travel.
I have spent decades tracking smugglers and dealing with them. I know very well that to catch a smuggler you need somebody mobile, clever, and with the understanding of unorthodox methods, so to speak. Just know that if you are caught smuggling anything from the mining guild itself, working for us as a buster of smugglers, the price on your head will be much larger than what we are paying for Martin Schöller, the despicable traitor. Should you be caught smuggling silk? Honestly, I do not give a shit. As long as it's not anything metal. None of my business.
Okay, well, I'll get to work.
Excellent. Off to Mador then. So I understand Mador's going to take the brunt of guarding Albertine, but he does have some free time you can spend if it's something you want.
I'll first get with the sergeant and let him know I would prefer the nighttime since my eyesight is better in the night.
He has absolutely no disagreement with that.
Otherwise, his downtime is mostly just retraining, just keep training up. And I do like to see if there's an observatory. Maybe one of these off nights go up and do some stargazing.
Very well. There is an observatory in the Keep of the Knights, actually. It's mostly used. They mostly use the powerful optics to look for flying threats, but as Mother was working with them, they are more than willing to let him use the observatory for a couple of hours at night when they usually can't see anything anyway. So I'm gonna have to ask you for a lore astrology roll.
No problem.
Dang. Yeah, Mador's actually able to pick up quite a bit of astrology, and he can easily, as an astrologer, a respected profession in these times, earn himself quite a bit of money just speaking of what the stars tell him during breakfast and lunchtime in the city, to those who are interested in hearing about it.
That'd be like at one of the local cafes or something like that, or in the square or something like that.
The local university seems to be the place where there's most people with coins burning in their pocket who want to hear their horoscopes.
Okay, I guess some of my days I'll be going over there then. My main thing is guarding because they are short-handed.
Indeed.
I didn't have much to do here. So.
Right, over to Iodi.
Yes. Iodi is going to spend his time finishing up potions. I have the group of 4 I started days ago. That we already rolled on that one, the Elixirs of Life. And then I'm going to start a Drakeheart Mutagen. It's roughly 2 gold, takes me 4 days to do that. And then I will, when that is complete, I will start Frost Vials, which is also roughly 2 gold. So do you want a crafting for both now, or individually?
Just give me a crafting for the different things, yes. real quick like.
So we already did the Elixir of Life. I'll go ahead and do Drakeheart first, I guess.
Yep. That's gonna go perfectly fine.
And then I'll do the Frost Files after that.
Yep, no problem whatsoever.
And then Eodi's looking for a workspace. I am an expert glass blower. I'm also an expert crafter in art. I can do lots of medicine, lots of different other things like that. Basically, I'm going to do whatever runes people will approach me and actually ask me to do. And then I would like to busy myself just doing whatever general work I can find.
Yeah, on the first day, as Eodi's standing over the cauldron, cackling and stirring it and dropping Eyes of Newton, whatever, into it, Severine approaches him towards the afternoon. Comes up with a big smile and like, Master Eodi, I see you're hard at work. I have found a location for you to keep Mistress Albertine safe, and also do whatever you feel needs doing. It's an abandoned guard tower on the outer edge of the city wall, next to the keep of the Raven Guard, but not within our walls. It is a more or less the standard way they built guard towers during the Second Empire. 3 floors. First floor is an armory and workspace. Second floor is for eating and sleeping and rest, and the third floor is for keeping guard with the ballista mounted on top. It has been decommissioned for a while, being close to or next to our wall. The city is not spending any money keeping guards in such a tower. But for our purposes, I believe it will be perfect, as it is... well, it's not connected to any of the pillars leading up to the bridge. Digging in would be exceedingly difficult, but it has stood there for millennia, and I do not think it will fall over in the next few days. Of course, you are welcome to come eat in the mess hall and use our facilities if needed, but for your purposes, it's pretty much a fortified 3-story tower with 1 entrance and 1 exit, with some workspaces as well. Back in the First Empire, the soldiers were expected to take care of their own needs when it came to, well, pretty much anything they wanted. They even had a mage in every squad back then. So I believe you will find the premises suitable to your needs.
Well, Eodi is not much one for guard work, but it sounds like this will be suitable for my experiments and things. So I thank you.
Very well. I will give you the keys, and as your companions come back to eat dinner in the next hour, please show them the space you will all be staying. I will have one of the sergeants ready to lead you to it once the time is ready. So, in short terms, that's pretty much anything Eodi needs to work. He can do in that tower when it comes to crafting. Glass blowing, no. But anything else, pretty much yes.
Okay. Mostly I was just looking for whatever, I can do repair work. I can do whatever is available for Eodi to keep busy. I'm not exactly sure who all needed runes done. I know Quinn said he had something he was working on. And I don't know if Lan actually went and got his done professionally. I know that Marisol said she had something, so we can do various roles to see how that goes. That's up to you how you want to do that.
Yeah, once we've gone through Cal, we'll do a first evening after work sort of gathered session, and everybody can give EOD their shopping list, so to speak.
Okay. Other than that, I would like to attune to the staff of necromancy that we found.
Yeah.
And then
take-
I would like to buy a scroll of blur.
Very well. That can be bought from the crazy gnome and his miraculous workshop of wonders. He seems to like EOD, he likes that EOD isn't taller than him, so he's going to give the EOD a 15% discount as well.
Excellent. And then I will take a however much time, I don't remember exactly how much it is, to learn said scroll of web, or blur, I mean.
Blur's a second level spell, so it shouldn't be too difficult. And EOD has a critical success anyway, so he's going to basically spend up to lunch one day doing that. He finds that spell very easy to learn.
Okay, that's basically all I had, honestly.
Yeah, the gnome keeps good notes. Let's jump on to Callus here.
Yeah. Cal would look for the armorsmith where she bought her armor, the battered helmet in hand.
Yes. As Cal enters and he takes a look at that helmet and like, who? What hit you? A dragon? Well, it's been less than 24 hours since you bought this armor and the helmet is already destroyed, so either you are finding fights you really shouldn't be in, or this helmet was not properly made. We will repair it for you for free.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I would like to learn. And she is making a hand movement through the smithy. My shield break, and people said I should know how to repair.
Very well. It won't pay much, but I can take you on for whatever time you have available as a junior apprentice.
She nods.
We'll see. Once you have proven yourself, maybe we'll be able to pay you more, but currently, there's not a lot I can give you as a... Enough to cover your room and board, I'm certain, but not much more, I'm afraid.
You also give knowledge.
Well, yes, that is why we don't pay much. If you come here with knowledge you already have, we will pay very much more.
I will learn.
Well, you are welcome to join in the work. Ah, see, she starts working. You are a strong girl. From farm?
Mines.
Ah, better. You won't mind the heat and the darkness then?
No, I'm used to it.
Excellent. And on that note, we will jump back to a group gathering at the end of the first day, once you've all had yourselves a little time to work and get to see the tower. The tower itself is definitely not a bad place to be. It's not huge, maybe 45 feet in diameter. But there are 3 or 4, if you count the top of the tower, that has a roof over it and a huge honking ballista on a sort of a swivel type situation, so it can shoot in any direction on it. The first floor, indeed, not something you've seen in any modern guard towers, but the first floor seems to be dedicated to different types of crafting work, especially anything that has to do with blacksmithing, weaponsmithing, or armoring. But there are 3 stations that haven't been filled up with gear, and for the rest, there's potion making, writing anything or making scrolls, and making any sort of weapon should be doable with the tools and facilities available. On the second floor, you have a fairly large rectangular table that should be able to accommodate up to 16 people from, if you're to hazard a guess, in addition to bunk beds on the walls and a couple of comfortable chairs close to a fireplace. And the third floor mostly is just, to keep arms and armor. It's been ribbed, so there's nothing there except for the wooden stuff you would need to hang arms and armor up. And also shooting slits out, and the, what's it called? Stairs up to the ballista itself, which gives you a pretty commanding view of everything except for the noble quarter, which is higher up in the city. Other than that, you can see most of the city and the surrounding lands from here.
Before the day ends, I did want to do something with the pillars. I devised a plan.
Mm-hmm.
How many pillars are there that are at least around wells and things like that?
You've counted 40 pillars. When it comes to wells, you're going to have to spend more than one day to chart map that out.
Impressive tower.
But having had a good look at the pillars, especially the one the ghouls climbed up, you're now certain that they must have used some sort of magic to be able to climb, because they are completely smooth. There's nowhere to get a handhold, and they seem more or less invulnerable to any sort of normal thing that could damage them. At your best estimate, it would be like trying to climb a completely flat pane of glass, trying to get up those things.
Do I think that they flew, or did they just use magic to be able to climb them?
Difficult to say. You haven't tested any climbing magic on them, but Larian reports that it's difficult to fly because all of the pillars disrupt the airflows in ways that are difficult to anticipate and negotiate. So if they flew, it would probably have to be some sort of magic that would allow them to ignore that factor. For anything larger than Larian, it would be exceedingly difficult to fly under the bridge, because you'd be big enough that you'd suddenly be in the wind shear of 2 different pillars going different directions. And it would be a very, very long fall.
All right. Well, then I'm going to need somebody's help, and I'm going to need to tie off to one of the pillars. My plan is to use the spell Verdant Sprout, which I imbue a single ordinary and inexpensive plant seed, which I have a ever-flowing bag of sunflower seeds, with primal energy, throw it onto a surface where it gradually sprouts into a medium plant after 10 minutes. The plant is sturdy enough to provide standard cover, and its space is difficult terrain. The plant is laden with nutritious nuts or fruits, sufficient to feed 1 medium creature a day, has an AC 10, hardness 5, 20 points, hit points. But then I will also want to touch it and cast shape wood on it and shape the wood into spikes flaring out.
Right. Testing that out, you very quickly find that no seed is able to actually grab hold of.
I also
the
wanted
pillars.
to take the bog mud, and I wanted to slap bog mud onto it and throw that onto it, the seed onto that. And I wanted to, as it's growing, wrap the roots around the pillar where it grows around and not into the pillars.
Yeah, testing it seems nothing is going to stick to these pillars.
Okay then.
They are imbued with some sort of Second Empire magic, where, yeah, not even dust. They don't even get dirty.
All right, then that's all my plan.
Right. So for your first evening, the mess hall has brought food over to you. Today it's roasted potatoes, roasted chicken, in addition to some vegetarian dish made out of some sort of beets and cauliflower, which is also quite delicious. In addition to the beer of the Raven Guard, a reddish-hued beer, with a bit more sharpness and tang than most of the beer you get served in Nosans. That's also surprisingly invigorating.
I could get used to this.
Yodi like strips the meat off of one of the chicken bones and then starts like tying it to his new staff that's already adorned with all kind of weird bones and stuff. He like shakes it around a little bit and he's like, "Yes, Yodi likes this as well."
Why are the bones on your staff, Yodi?
I don't know. It is many powers I have sensed from this staff, and Iodi likes it. We will see when we run into our next victim. Opponents.
If it works for you, who am I to complain?
Also, Iodi has presents for the grumpy one, yes? And he will pull out 2 small vials that are elixirs of life. And he will slide them over to Kalazir. These, grumpy one, you will drink these when you are feeling from too many hits in the head, yes?
Thank you.
They will only mostly cause you discomfort. You will be fine.
She stores them in her backpack.
If you want to make a note, those are 1d6 hit point, and then you get +1 save versus disease and poison for a full minute.
1d6 HP and a plus. What did you say?
Save versus disease and poison. They are minor elixirs of life.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will go back to noisily gobbling up chicken.
Right. The door from the stairs leading down slides open, surprisingly noiselessly. It's generally everything here is made to a very high, it's basic stuff, what you'd find in a military barracks, but it's made to a very high standard, unlike a lot of the military barracks some of you have been in. And first enters Preacher, who's been keeping watch with together with Mador over Albertine, and then she walks in wearing a very, very highly polished, very ornate suit of full plate armor, and leaning on a hand and a half sword in its scarab. You can see her sweat plastered hair is just sticking to her face. She kind of stumbles over to whatever bed doesn't seem to be claimed, and just goes, "Hi," and then just falls back onto it and groans. And Mador, guarding the rear, enters last.
You may want to get out of your armor first. Otherwise, you're going to get stiff when you fall asleep in it.
I'll go help her with it.
Thank you.
Zara's
Yes.
also gonna go help pull Albertine out of her plate.
Yeah, first you have to wake her up. Seems her head. As soon as her head hit the pillow, she fell asleep. But
I got 16 strength. I don't need her to be awake.
yeah, you quickly help her out of her armor, and she just gives both of you a grateful smile and like, oh, thanks. I'll be with you in a moment. And then she lays down, rolls over to her side with her back out to the room, and you can hear a slight snore from her.
I'm gonna put her cover over her and let her sleep.
I remember when I was learning how to fight.
I never learned to use the armor like that, but I can imagine. We were trained in breastplates.
She's lucky. I doubt that the knights are gonna come in here like Temerity used to do and kick her awake.
I don't know. I hope they don't, because I'll be sleeping here.
Yeah.
At least we'll know where she is if she's wearing that. She'll be audible.
Mador and Preacher have also, if they wanted to, been able to partake in the training. As long as they're close enough to defend her, if anything goes bad, the knights definitely don't disapprove of them training with them. Although their training is pretty specific. It's they have a fighting style that's based on whoever using this fighting style wearing full plate and actually just weathering a lot of hits instead of dodging and parrying. Which, well, most soldiers who aren't dressed in plates, they don't have that luxury. There's a very aggressive, demanding style, but you think you may be able to at least pick up some tricks from them if you spend the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'll work with the sergeant. He said he wanted to learn some of the pole arming. So I'll train with the sergeant.
Yeah, he's very appreciative of learning some tricks and some tricks from Mador, especially as he's been out and actually done mercenary work for a while and learned to fight dirty. Not just the stances and the the flow of using different techniques, but kicking dirt in people's face and generally doing whatever he needs to do to win.
I should be able to provide one or two rapid attacks for training.
Yep. So, yeah, this tower obviously been disused for a while, but it gives you a comfortable feeling. It's definitely sturdy. It's not cold. It's not even drafty, as you'd expect. You just have to get used to all of the steps on the stairs being of uneven height and depth. Which is probably a super good thing if you've been in this tower for 6 months and somebody who's never been in it attacks. But on the first day, there's a lot of stumbling.
I'm going to grab a quick bite to eat, grab a beer, and proceed to my watch station at the top.
Mador, you should really get some rest.
I rested 4 hours. I'm good.
Suit yourself.
If you are sure, Mother, do not overexert yourself, yeah? We will need all the rest we can get soon.
Don't worry about me, Leo.
That is my job, my friend. But you know your limits, yeah? Do look after yourself.
Do not worry about the edgy one. He will get much rest under the clouds of his brooding.
While we are speaking about brooding and things we doing at the moment, Yodi, I wonder, could you put this rune onto my longbow? It will make it more accurate.
Yodi is familiar with the rune that you are showing him. If you place it into a pile with the rest of, Yodi's tasks, he will handle this for you.
Is the pile anywhere in particular?
It is not existent yet, but you will be the first.
Very well. I shall find somewhere.
Then I shall do the same with my pistol.
Cal is also reaching into her pocket.
I see the pile is being made.
Yep. Leo puts the rune on whatever it's stored on, along with his bow down on the nearest clear surface he can find.
Do not worry, Iodi will find time for all of the finest, alterations to your equipment.
Thank you, Yodi.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Do you need any materials beyond this?
It will cost Iodi a small sum to do all of these things, but he will be able to handle it, I assume, with maybe the party funds,
Well, either that or I have silver to pay you with.
I'm under the impression it's 10% of the rune cost.
Correct.
Only if you're going from an item to another item. From runestones, it's free.
So I will pay
So
them.
Marisol's will cost money, but Leo's will not.
Yes, Iodi will do this for you for a slight fraction of the cost. 10%.
I'll add the small bag of gold.
Iodi will sleep well upon the treasures tonight.
I made sure they were gold coins for you, my friend.
He's literally chewing on each one of them to make sure they're real. I had never a doubt.
He does like his gold, does he not?
He's a dragon. Of course he loves gold.
Yeah, this is true.
My hoard is known the world over, or will be.
Cal,
We shall do our best to make it so, my friend.
Cal is putting off her breastplate from the half plate and is putting the rune next to it. This will help me, right?
This will be no problem. Iodi's skills are magnanimous.
Excellent. There's definitely all the tools needed for doing anything with runes in the first floor of the tower. That seems to have been a thing that they did a lot back during the Second Empire.
You want like 72 arcane rolls from me or something?
I don't know if I don't think I'm even going to require a roll from you for just redistributing runes.
I don't think there
That's-
actually is one. I'm not even
With
sure.
the gear here and your own experience, that's just going to be like changing a tire for a car mechanic.
Consider it done.
So it is going to eat up a lot of the next day for Yodi, but otherwise, yeah.
I will do this.
All right. So you have yourselves a nice evening. Who else is taking night watch with Mador, by the way?
Leo will.
Sure.
Okay, so it's Mador and Preacher, and then it'll be Leo and whoever else on
Cal.
night shift. Leo and Cal. Yeah, Cal also sees at night, so that makes a lot of sense. So, heading in the morning, Cal, after a nice 4-hour shift of guard duties, heading towards the forge to start her day there, having had the time to grab some early breakfast in the mess hall. Mostly variations of eggs and ham this morning, with some vegetables thrown in for good measure, and a weaker version of the bear you had last night, but more invigorating. I was actually starting to question whether you need the black bean brew at all, or if the beer is going to be invigorating enough on its own. Heading down, there's not a lot of folk on the streets yet. She can hear when she comes to the trade quarter a lot of, most of the artisans are already going, but the streets are quite empty. And cutting through a back alley to get there faster, a large, maybe 2-meter tall hobgoblin in armor of black and dark blue with a curved sword on his hip steps out in front of her and then bows slightly.
She stops in her tracks, eyeing him carefully, one hand on her axe, but not drawn.
You are Kalazir of the Night Thorns, am I correct?
Who's asking?
I am Matsuemon Tenoji, a servant of the Lady Hamuru Akaiko. I hear you killed many of the Hobgoblin Ronin in your adventures the last few weeks.
We killed slavers, bad people.
Yes, I agree. Which is why I would like to offer you a bounty.
Oh? I'm listening.
One of our own deserted us on the way here. He left the trade caravan stealing several items. And I have reason to believe he's signed on with these traders. His name is Sakuma Kazunari. The most important thing he stole was the spear. Debiru Doriaibo. A powerful magical weapon belonging to House Akaiko. The Lady Akaiko wishes to offer a bounty of 1,000 gold pieces on his head. And we believe the Night Thorns are the correct people to deliver on this, as you have already proven your mettle in slaying several other Ronin.
How do I know it will be him? So, what, is there anything to recognize him?
He wears an armor like mine, except his helmet has the beak of an eagle, where mine has the beak of a crow. And he wields a powerful and beautifully made spear with great magic in it. You will not be able to mistake him if you meet him. We also believe he is hired on either as a leader or a champion with these Ronin roaming the countryside. We will offer an additional 2 gold pieces for each Ronin head you bring. The spear, its honor has been defiled by being taken by this traitor to our house and murdering innocents. Do what you will with it. As long as it is no longer in the hands of bandits and scum, we do not care.
Where do I find you or someone to take?
We have a small trading house here in the city of the Bridge of Ravens. Take this, and he hands her a bamboo scroll. there, once the deed is done, and you will have your payments. And there may be other more interesting job offers for you in the future.
And he last was on a road around here. Which one?
4 days from the Bridge of Ravens on the road to the east. Going through the Badlands, close to the valley with all of the orcs. Our caravans are well defended. We take the shortest route. We do not fear the brutes. It is good training for our young samurai.
I will tell the group.
You have my gratitude, he says, and he bows again, and then he just turns and walks.
Yeah, and she watches him until she can't see him anymore and continues to the smith.
Very well. On that note, I will just give you what you're earning, because there's going to be 10 days of downtime. So be ready to note. Preacher earns 40 gold. Edamir earns 20 gold. Marisol earns 150 gold. Leopold earns 50 gold as her assistant. Sarah hits a brick wall in her investigation, but the mining guild still believes that she'll be able to find their renegade. They never expected this to be a simple job, and they still pay her 35 gold. Cal gets a whopping 5 gold pieces and a lot of new experience and slightly more toned arms and shoulders. And for Iodi, he's mostly crafting and has expenses more than anything else. You can tally those up, and the group will decide how those funds are covered. And on that note, we're taking a 10-minute break because Tiny Dog is having some really noxious farts, and I need to air out here before I go unconscious. But we will be back at 8:35 p.m. sharp.
Stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say. Just find your way and try to stay true. Speak low, stand in your row. Try not to show this life's a show. Try not to glow. Way down below, oh, it's a lot of woe. And that's not a place where you would like to go. I've got cigarettes and brandy, which could come in handy if you just help me.
Okay. We are good to go.
Expensive. Expensive? Exactly, was what I meant to say. Sorry, English is not my first language. Right, so you've had 10 days of, well, the most relaxing time you've had in a long while, really, except for Cal, who is more sore than she can remember being ever. But she looks amazing. And it's the morning of the 10th day. Marsal and Leopold are following a lead. And heading down the back alleys for one of the people you think may have been instrumental in giving building plans to whoever is behind the attack on Albertine. Sun is barely cresting the horizon, but it's more than enough light to see by. Okay. Moving up towards the a T crossing, you hear somebody speaking harshly, and then a scream as a gentleman wearing now shredded chain shirt with a short sword that's leaving his hand as he arcs through the air, and a shower of blood comes flying from behind that T section.
Come on.
I am coming.
Yep. Sprinting around, the first thing you see is a giant stag shaking another hoodlum off of its horns and clomping its foot twice when it sees you. Next to it is a fairly tall lady with features that can only be described as striking. Long orange hair just flowing down her shoulders and back in ringlets. Wearing an armor made, from the look of it, by some sort of bark. And retracting into the right gauntlet of that armor is a spear that's at the same time being pulled out of another hoodlum that is quickly decaying.
Marisol stops and looks at her.
As she turns, the armor makes no sound whatsoever. You can see that she has it's glowing, not glowing, just very, very striking azure eyes. Probably a half-elf, if you're gonna guess. The build is just too muscular to be a regular elf. And on her, around her throat, you can see the pendant of Apollo.
I give her a short bow and hold my hands up to make sure she understands I'm not a threat. Because I just saw her kill several people.
Leo does exactly the same thing.
Yep. She gives both a smile and says something in... You think you've heard Edamir mumble in the same language to his animals, and the stag kind of calms down and gives you a polite nod. Which is not as unthreatening as one would think, with those huge, very spiky and sharp horns on its head.
Leo makes a short bow to the stag, keeping his eyes very carefully on those horns.
Marisol does the same.
Yeah. She nods her head to you and like, oh, yes, you're the two people who've been following me.
Well, not you, we think. As a sister of Apollo, you would definitely never be who we were looking for, at least.
No, true. But You've been breathing down my neck while I've been trying to find one of my former sisters.
Former sisters?
Yes, a recruit in the army of Apollo. Squire, I believe you call it here. However, she's deserted. Seems to be taking mercenary work for some rather unsavory types.
That could make sense.
She, to my great regret, managed to give me the slip earlier this night, and I believe she's left town. She's hired these second-rate assassins to get rid of me. She must have been well aware they would do nothing except slow me down for a short while. But you seem like a capable sort.
We do our best.
You managed to track her here, and she is not easy to track.
We have some advantages and we use them.
Well, in that case, I would like to hire you to either bring her back to me or make certain she can cause no more harm.
We would love to help you.
Excellent. And she hands off hands you a drawing, probably the most lifelike you've ever seen, of a drow lady. Dressed in different shades of green, wearing lots of leaves and moss, almost blending into the background. Carrying a bow, a rapier, and a wicked-looking kukri.
That is a coincidence. This is a very lifelike picture. Do you think we will have any trouble tracking this person, Marisol?
Hunter's marker.
I can guarantee you'll have trouble tracking her. She was an aspirant to the Ranger Corps of Apollo, after all. But, having tracked her this far,
We will continue to hunt.
I have belief that you can take her down.
We will,
Should you do so, of course, there's a 1,600 gold bounty on her.
That is most generous. We will, of course, do our best using our own skills in this area.
Excellent. Now, if you'll excuse me, my presence is needed back in the forest.
Of course.
Of course, lady.
Here. She hands you an empty pouch. Once you have her in custody, either delivered to us or dead, the payment will materialize.
That's handy. Thank you.
Saves on time and paper.
It is certainly unusual. I think I like the Rangers of Apollo.
Definitely.
Well, I must be off. Best of luck to you.
And to you, lady.
Safe travels.
And your magnificent stag.
And in a flowing bound, she mounts the stag and they disappear down the streets.
That's definitely not something you see every day.
Yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting to find this morning.
No. But we now have a clue. And we know where we're going next. I'm sure we can get a few of the others to help. Definitely Edamir. He should be interested in taking a fallen sister of Apollo down.
Yeah. He should very much be interested in apprehending someone going rogue from Apollo.
And the others we'll try to recruit them. This sounds a bit more dangerous than the small fries we've been hunting this week.
Yeah. 1,600 gold? There must be a reason why this fee is so large. It could be very dangerous.
Absolutely, we should inform the others.
Let us first have a look around the scene and see if we can pick anything up.
Nothing more to be gained. These were probably not even recruits in the Assassin's Guild. If you were to guess, they've probably never even had anything to do with the Assassin's Guild. They just bragged about being part of it to earn some cash.
Amateurs, then.
Yeah, very much so.
Is there anything that could give us a hint as to who they were so we can bring it back to the constabulary?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And that's why you get paid as much as you do.
Brilliant.
Let's gather up what we can get and return then.
Right. It is the usual day off for work. So the rest of you gather for lunch in the tower. None of the artisans are currently working on this day. Everybody's going to the respective temples and that sort of thing.
Someone talked to me about a bounty. A hobgoblin. 1,000 gold bounty.
Are we heading back, or are we back, or?
You're gathered now. And you've had a pat on the back from the constable and gotten paid.
We also heard about a bounty that might be interesting. A fallen sister of Apollo.
Really now?
Yeah. The lady that gave us the bounty, and she assured us that she would be very difficult to track. Also, it is a very large fee. 1,600 gold.
I'm not worried about the money, but
9, my friend. But with that sum of money, she must be quite dangerous.
My bounty is said to have a spear, a powerful spear. Stolen from his house. A hobgoblin.
Well, there is nothing to say that we cannot hunt them both.
We have already accepted the task of finding the sister, and we were sure that you, Adamir, at least, would come with us, but we would like the rest of the group as well. With this kind of bounty, it's probably dangerous.
Well, I didn't say I would agree mine, but I was given this, so... And she holds up the plate she was given. 4 days east.
of course, if it's a fallen sister of Apollo, then I would have to go and investigate this.
Well, we have to as well. We gave our word, and it's a lot of money, so we would really love to share it with all of you.
I'm in.
I think it's a worthy cause. Looking into this fallen sister, it's a step up from what we've done so far, but I see no issue with it. As long as Albertine is safe.
Yodi is always interested in gold, and the fox said he was not interested. He will take his share.
I didn't say that.
It's not about the money, fox person. Do not worry. I will carry it for you.
No, but there is stuff that I can do with that money.
He changes his mind very
donate
quickly.
to the orphanage.
Friends, peace. We need to find this person first. This, what is the name on the wanted poster?
Lise Van Horn.
Ah, thank you.
I wouldn't give a copper to the orphanage.
That's completely up to you. But we're gonna go hunt this lady then. Cal, are you in?
Mine has thousands gold bounty. Too much for me alone.
We will help you with yours as well then.
And she nods. Where is yours?
We have to track her down. We have followed her lead all through the city during the week because we think she might be involved in the attack.
Yeah, we found a very interesting lady who was a priestess or a ranger of Apollo.
I would say priestess based on her look, but
Most likely.
I'm no expert.
We heard a disturbance while we were tracking this person. We ran round the corner. We were faced by an extremely large stag with very large horns, and a lady with a peculiar spear projecting from her gauntlet. The person she stopped to visit was very, very dead.
Remember the strange armor the hobgoblins had?
Absolutely.
Apparently, they are called Ronin, and for every head we deliver, we get 2 gold. He especially asked for night thorns to take it.
Fair. One more contract to take on. We can do this. So long as everyone is in.
Of course.
Then we're going hunting as soon as we can.
Right. As you're eating, the door opens, and a man so large he has to enter it sideways, dressed in plate crafted from blue dragon scale, with long gray hair falling down over his shoulders, and the most magnificent mustache you've seen for years, enters. He's one of those gentlemen that's somewhere between 50 and 70, but nailing that down is difficult.
She rises from the table and gives him a bow, assuming he is much more important than her.
Leo also assumes that he's important and rises to greet him.
He gives everyone a nod, and goes over and gives Albertine a hug, whispers something to her. And then, so you are the mercenaries that have kept the Lady Albertine safe.
Yes, sir. We are the Night Sons. It has been a pleasure to look after the Lady Albertine.
Well, the Order thanks you. I am Adelhard, Grand Master of the Knights of the Raven God.
Well met, Grandmaster.
I have read your reports. I've heard the witness statements. It seems you have done Ravensbridge and the Raven Guard and Golden Lens itself quite a favor by protecting young Albertine and shoring up our defenses. Not to mention defeating the undead attack and saving the life of one of my young sergeants.
Well,
Currently, I have no direct job to offer you, but I will not leave you without proper reward and compensation for your work here. Whenever you visit Ravensbridge, this tower shall be your home, should you choose so. And he puts down a scroll on the table. From now on, the tower has been leased from the city for a duration of 5 years and paid for by the Order. And he adds another quite small pouch. Can't be more than 2 or 3 gold coins in there. And this, I believe, will be a proper recognition of your bravery. I don't have a specific contract to give you, but I will say this. There is an orc out there somewhere that's orchestrating the kidnappings and I fear to guess, but if I'm to hazard a guess, sacrifices of citizens of Golden Lens. We are hunting him. We will find him. But we also have many small settlements to defend in addition to the city, and many other concerns we must take care of. Should you find this orc, warlord, and neutralize the threat to the citizenry of Golden Lens, I will not only pay you the amount of 2,000 gold coins, but also gift you one of the finely made weapons for the Raven Guards. You can choose whether you want a war spear or one of our crossbows. With all of the needed paperwork to be allowed to carry the weapon of a knight in Golden Lens. For the one who receives it.
well, that is quite generous, Grandmaster. I am sure we would be delighted to accept the use of the tower when we are here. What we did, well, As you said, we are mercenaries. But we could not stand by, and decency would not allow us to, well, allow Madame Albertine to be harmed.
This orc, does he happen to be to the east?
That I do not know. Mador, I see you have your hand up.
I have a question for the Grand Master.
Yes.
It seems like people have forgotten our main job is protection of Albertine. Is she now into your custody? That we
Yes.
can't really.
The order returned to Ravensbridge this morning. We will take her into our fold. She will no longer travel anywhere until her training is done without 2 of the Raven Guard watching over her.
How fared the battle with the dragon?
Well, normally I would not speak to outsiders about it, but you have earned at least that much trust from me. The dragon was newly raised. We found a circle with over 100 of the citizenry of Golden Glen sacrificed to revive the dragon itself. A zombie dragon. Powerful, but the flesh on its bones was stolen from human, elf, and dwarf, not draconic flesh, and our masks protect us well from poison. We lost 2 good knights, and their lives were spent in the best way a knight could ask for, protecting the citizens of Ravensbridge. But their loss will be felt. With them killed, there are only 48 of us until we can train replacements. The dragon itself, though, I believe, was summoned to pull us out so that a strike against Albertine would be possible. I believe the Ashen Coven is behind it. If so, their seers must have seen her do something in the future to disturb their plans.
We have seen that. I know not if it is this Ashen Coven or not, but there is a group that very much wishes harm to Albertine to stop her becoming the champion that you say she might be.
Oh, a champion she is. I can feel her aura from here. But trained she is not. Although I believe Geb put you in her path so that she would safely reach us to get the training she needs. And I hear that 2 of you have also aided in training some of my sergeants and squires. They speak highly of you. As such, I would gift you this, he says, and in front of Mador and Preacher he places one maybe 30-inch long dragon's claw.
Thank you, Grandmaster.
Thank you, Grandmaster.
Now, me and Albertine must take our leave. We have a burial to attend to.
I rise and hug Albertine. I've grown fond of her.
Yep. She gives a brave smile to everybody and like, thanks for everything. I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
Be well, Albertine. You are in good hands with the Grandmaster. Yeah. I wish you much luck in your training. And I hope to see you again sometime. Yeah?
I'm sure we'll see each other again. Geb didn't place you in my path for no reason.
Well, I of course am not a follower of Geb, but yes, the gods move in some very mysterious and puzzling ways.
She straightens and slams a fist to her chest in the salute of the Knights of the Raven Guard. Then she disappears down the stairs, following the Grandmaster.
A 100 lives for a distraction.
More than 100 lives. You heard the Grandmaster. Its flesh was made up of humanoids.
Ah,
Yeah, whatever this is, it is very much bigger than we are at the moment.
We should have gone when we had the chance. Maybe those 100 lives would have been spared.
or Albertina would be gone, so I guess it's good that we didn't go.
Yeah,
We could have gone after the attack.
Had we gone, it would probably have been 110 lives.
It was already raised.
Yes.
It wouldn't have changed.
But we can do something about if we can find this woman that might be somehow behind it, then we can do something good and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Nope.
we must do what we can, Edemir. Even though my lord tells me that the odds do not matter, only that we try.
Anyway, sounds like we have some work cut out ahead of us to go find ourselves some bounties. An orc warlord that's been capturing people for sacrifices that could be involved. The person selling plans to the undead. A hobgoblin.
We have a lot of work cut out for us, and we'll be pretty rich if we manage to do it all.
Well, it will buy us better equipment at the very least.
I stand looking at the dragon claw a little bit skeptically. What to do with this?
You can make that into a sword.
Don't use swords.
Bone punching knuckles?
Possibly.
A sweet hat so you can have horns as glorious as mine.
Yeah.
Keep
Well,
it as a memento. It might
yeah.
bring luck.
Yeah,
Certainly
with
not.
what the Grandmaster said, we have use of this tower. Whenever we are in Ravensbridge, perhaps we could store it here on a wall as a trophy.
That for certain. But to be honest, what I would like at the moment is something to combat these undead that keep popping up.
Then we'll have to find a source.
Hmm.
Our first target should probably be this Lise Van Horn, since they're actively fleeing the area. The Orc Warlord and the Hobgoblin will likely remain, doing whatever work they're doing.
I agree with Sarah.
Yeah, this sounds like sense. We should possibly look to see if she has already fled Ravensbridge.
And it's getting late, so I don't think we should follow her in the night. Most of us can't see in the dark. I know some of you can, but well, I'm unfortunately only human.
Very well. In the morning then.
How late is it in the day, Sugar?
Well, you were eating lunch, so
Oh, lunch! I thought we were having late night dinner or something. Then we can definitely go out tracking her. Now, Leah, will you come with me and see if we can find her trail?
Of course.
right.
Do you want everybody to go, or do you want to try a small group?
If you want to come, then please do. But we might use very much time just finding her tracks. It's not that easy to go by a cold hunt.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Following a code trail, especially on the city, it is very different from following one out in the countryside.
Well, if we do find her, I'm gonna get in chase. So
If it's a ranger, then she's probably mounted and will have to be fast.
Yeah. Come with us if you want, but I have no idea how long this will take to find the trail.
I will join.
I'm joining.
I'll snoop around the bars and see if I can get any social leads.
Yeah, you've seen her picture, right?
Yes.
Okay. The rest of you, what do you want to do?
Yodi will go with this one here, the blue one. I am not one for traipsing around in the grass looking for footprints.
In the street, actually, but as you have it.
I'll stay with my door.
I mean, the two of you have just stood night watch as well. They're probably pretty tired at this point.
Then you guys have some rest and we'll come get you once we have the trail.
Okay.
Right, so for those of you working on the trail, I'm going to need to see a little hunting skill check.
I'm going to point out that we have the Bloodhound mask. It's a one-time use, but it will give whoever's best at tracking a bonus.
We'll see if we need it. I'll try without it first, and we might need it later in the hunt and not just to pick up our trail out of the city, right?
While the others are doing the tracking bit, I'm going to focus on seeing everything around us so we don't walk straight into an ambush.
Right.
That's 22 in lower hunting, 24 if I have assist.
Right, so you spend most of the day. Why does elevator have a -1 effect?
I do not know.
Second
Yeah,
from
As
they're
earlier.
you-
probably
The second. Yep.
Yeah,
Removed.
from me as well.
You spend most of the day tracking and hunting. Sarah, I'm going to need a skill roll from you as well. Wow. Sarah is just not trusted by the underworld, is she?
I have rolled all of the best rolls.
Yes. Your skills have been outstanding so far.
Roar and I are trying to get the scent also.
So you spend most of the day tracking and hunting and tracking and hunting. Seems like most of the criminal elements of the city are currently laying low, as they have, they've kind of had their ass kicked by a Knight of Apollo recently. But towards the evening, you find a promising lead, a young halfling card shark, who swears that he has never picked a lock in his life and has no idea why people keep calling him a burglar. Somebody tried to hire him to go into a certain part of the Ravensbridge graveyard to get into a crypt. A dark-haired lady.
Wearing a lot of green?
No, but she left on a broom.
Oh, I know her. Not a very nice lady. She pay well?
Well, not well enough to go into a graveyard in the night and break into a crypt. Not according to him. He ain't having none of that. Besides, she seemed sketchy, and halflings don't break into crypts. That's his call on it all.
Not that you've ever broken into anything.
No, never. Halflings don't do that. That's racist.
I think we have the trail here, people.
I think so. They'll follow his lead where it leads us.
Well, the lead leads towards the Ravensbridge graveyard. A specific place, to be more specific.
Like a crypt?
Yes.
I think we should
talk
gather
to
the others.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think that is a good idea.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cal and Mador are having, Mador's up stargazing and Cal's sharpening her weapon. When both of you hear Leopold's voice going, I think we should make ready now.
Well,
Once more onto the fire, my dear. Once more onto the fire.
I'm ready.
Yep. You both get help from the other, putting your armor on.
I don't need help.
It goes a lot faster with two.
I already have it on me. Well, stargazing, remember?
Ah, well.
I
Cal
have,
gets help from
I have armor
Mador.
assist. I only need half the time.
Yep, but you still get help, and it's much faster. And as you turn to say thank you to Mador, he's not there. He actually comes down from the level above you.
Did you went up again?
I'm confused. Repeat this again, please.
Well, why did you go up again when you just helped me?
He has no idea what she's talking about.
She's scanning the room suspiciously.
Seems empty. Except for Mador.
Huh.
Is this the mid floor or the top floor?
This would be the mid floor, where the resting and eating and reading area is.
I came from above, is what you're saying?
Correct.
That makes sense now.
And you hear the door on the first floor open as somebody enters. And then Marisol and Leopold are looking at you from the doorway.
Did you just see someone?
Nein, there was no one downstairs.
But we found who we're looking for, or we believe we found where they are. So, you ready?
Yeah, I mean, you already told us to get ready looking at Liu. Wait, you can see how confused she is right now.
What is wrong, Carl?
You just told us to make ready.
And now tell us again. And
That wasn't us.
well,
We just came.
Yeah,
and
but-
someone helped with my armor. My door was upstairs.
I did not. I would have helped you, of course, if I were here, but I wasn't.
I'm going to pat Roran and tell him to investigate in Druidic.
Yeah, Roran reports that he can't really smell anything.
How strange.
Leo looks around to see if he can see anything.
Nah, seems seems the way it should be.
Fit. Perhaps you heard my voice from outside. There does not seem to be anyone here except us.
Didn't sound, but yeah, maybe.
Well, nevertheless, we have somewhere to seek our target, and you are ready. Let us go.
She is grabbing her shield that she had close to the door. And it is one that you have not seen her use before, although she brought it back after a week of working at the smithy. It seems a little much sturdier than the one she had before.
It looks good on you.
Thank you. Should take more than the other.
I sure hope so. And your new armor is magnificent.
I'm going into a combat pose. I'm going to really start looking into this tower here.
It just must be the Fae playing a trick.
Who knows?
I do not like the mystery.
I don't like tricks.
The tricks
I
are
hate
fun.
Faes.
Well, no matter how hard you look, you can't find anybody.
Well, now that we're done wasting time, are we ready to move on?
Yeah, I think so. Peculiar.
Very. Perhaps whatever it is will reveal itself another time. For now,
it-
we have someone to hunt.
Whatever it is, it doesn't seem harmful. It seems to have helped.
Yeah, it helped Calvert our armor and warned them that we were coming.
A helpful spirit? I do not know.
Well, come on, this way.
Well, the specific graveyard, Ravensbridge being ancient, you're looking for is under the bridge, actually. So you exit the city proper and hit the farmlands for a little while before you walk up on to a massive graveyard. There must be thousands of people buried. And towards one of the sections, you can kind of glimpse a light, a purplish one.
I'm going, before we enter the graveyard, I'm going to mutter a prayer to Apollo to let the dead rest peacefully, and if not, give me the strength to beat them.
Mm-hmm. You can feel sort of warmth climb into you. And, there's a little spark of golden light kind of nestling in your fur. And moving up, especially those of you with dark vision, can see them moving about in the graveyard, sort of patrolling huge skeletons. One from a minotaur and two from ogres, if you can make a guess. Large, scary-looking, and all-around unpleasant creatures, from what you can see. And in the world?
Takes a while
And the
to
battle
load
map
in.
seems to be borked, or it's just loading in. There we are.
Just loading.
Yeah, it like loads each tile individually.
Lovely.
I have Roran here, not Lyrian, so you can take the bird off.
I just assumed he was flying around somewhere.
I can only have one.
All right.
Since the low light vision doesn't seem to work once again, would it be okay to give me dark vision as well?
Let us see. Why was your? why is
Yeah,
your...
I can't see low light.
I can only see what is actually lit up, and low light should be a bit more than that, but it's not.
I can also only see low light.
Interesting. Why does it need to be written in a specific way, I wonder?
I wrote it exactly like it was in the ability itself, but it doesn't accept.
Huh. Okay, well, just add the dark vision to yourselves currently, so that
Thank
you
you.
can see the range on this map. You'd be able to see everything with low light vision anyway.
It might be that the light circles are projecting dim light to their 30 feet, and that's the only, like, any place that is outside of that is considered full darkness. Because like each light source has like a bright center and then like a dim exterior, so it might actually just be full darkness on your map.
That may very well be, actually. Yep. That is what it would be.
Ah, So it's correct.
Yes, you're actually going to have to grab yourself some light sources.
Well, I have my Evola torch, so I just use that.
I wonder if I can give
There we
Cal.
go.
I got myself a lantern.
I wonder how I actually add light sources to you guys. I'm going to have to find that out.
Whoever just
that they
added
stay-
their own, it lit up for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you press effects on your map and then add a light source to yourself, so I just added a lantern to myself, so I get 30 feet of light.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I also just equipped the ever-burning torch to the automation is applied.
Ah, perfect. Well, in that case, we now know how to do that. And yeah, these things are obviously large and scary looking, and they wish you ill. You can be fairly certain of that.
They are undead abominations. They need to die.
That they are. From the look of it, they also have something. They must have been buried with weapons, because they all have long bladed weapons. Maybe the equivalent of a glaive, from what you can see. And initiative goes to Cal.
Wait, what? Since when I am first?
I know, crazy, right? You only have the improved initiative feat and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, they didn't tell me last time. I'm taken by surprise here, but let's see. The enemies are down there, so I am simply going to step up a little bit over here, and I am raising my shield.
Gotcha.
Since I don't know how hard they will hit in the Everstand stance.
Gotcha. In that case, it is Herr Leopold.
Leo will target the undead abomination in front of Cal.
Gotcha.
With Hunt Prey, and then cast a gravity weapon.
Very well.
And then it's time for a bow shot.
Pew pew pew. That plinks straight off of one of the few pieces of rusted armor still on this thing. If you're guessing, this ogre-sized whatever it was must have been a knight at some point, because there are still rusted pieces of plate armor on it. Edamir.
I'm going to move there.
Gotcha.
Roram will move there. I don't have to command him now that he's mature. He can take one action to either move or attack on his own.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm going to cast Shattering Gem on Cal.
Ooh, what does it do?
A large gem floats around the target in an erratic pattern. The gem has 5 hit points. Each time a creature strikes the target attempts a DC 11 flat check. On a success, the gem blocks the attack, so the attack first damages the gem and then applies any remaining damage to the target. If the gem is reduced to 0 hit points, it shatters, immediately dealing damage to the creature that destroyed it 1d8 slashing. Reflex save. So it's just 5 free hit points if it hits it.
No, thank you.
And
That
now
would be my turn.
it is Iori.
Excellent. So Iodi will fumble about in his pocket and use the Wand of Manifest Missiles. Or Manifold Missiles, my apologies. Which is a first level magic missile. I'll use all my actions on it, which would be 3 bolts to each, one bolt to each Minotaur.
Gotcha.
And then effectively every turn for a minute, I shoot one more missile at a target of my choosing. And
Shiny.
so we will do. You can go left to right with that damage.
Got it. Okay, so 3. What does EOD's magic missiles look like?
These missiles in particular are your classic blue and purple streaking through, kind of like some pew pew lasers, you know? He points his wand forward and he just kind of winks at him and it's pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. So EOD takes out his small laser not to build too much heat and starts blasting. Gotcha.
Damn right.
Okay, that takes us to, speaking of people who like small lasers, Preacher.
Okay. Well, I see no point standing around here waiting for them to attack, so. Stoke Flame stance and totally not shouting parkour, but I'm still running. I can get there for 40, so I might not be able to get them actually.
Let's see if we move him once. Yeah, you're still bordering him. He's just large, so he eats, and the tokens for some reason are round instead of square in a game that uses square bases. So yeah, you are close to him. Close enough, anyway.
Then I should be able to have one action left and actually do an attack.
That is correct.
And I will hit him with a powerful fist. Sorry, that was actually damage straight away. That was not.
Yep. Well, we know what the damage is if you hit.
Yep.
And that is a hit. You run up and smack him, but good.
Why did you roll attack number 3?
Because that was the third one. I did action 1 as the
No. Only the attacks cause attack penalties. So you're still on your full attack. So what would that be on your full attack?
The hit would have been
Would have been a 30, meaning you rolled the wrong damage because that's a critical.
Yeah, okay. So let's do it this one.
Yeah, there we go. Wow, that's some very low rolls, but he smacks that thing, but good, causing tons of damage, skeletal pieces falling off every which way. But it's a big skeleton, roughly 9 feet tall, and it ain't gonna go down just because you shattered most of its ribcage off. And that takes us to Mador.
Right, I'll move beside Rowan and Bryce.
Gotcha. Brace for receiving incoming impacts. That takes us to Zara.
Okay, I would like to do an esoteric lore on the far right Minotaur.
There are no minotaurs there, just skeletons. But yes,
Whatever.
on the far right skeleton. Gotcha. Go for it, sir. That is a success, I'm going to say. That is just about a success. Yes, so you want all the weaknesses and immunities, right?
And I also get the recall knowledge on it.
Right. So immune, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, unconscious, standard undead. Resistance, cold, electricity, fire, piercing, and slashing.
Can you say the elements one more time?
Cold, electricity, fire, piercing, and slashing. Resistance.
Okay, and then I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at it.
Gotcha.
In a gesture pulled straight from Iori's playbook, where she stole it from. Zara points at the skeleton using her mirror and outbursts a ray of cold.
Right. And that is against the far right one. However, she seems to hit a piece of particularly thick cloth, which freezes solid and falls off. That takes us to these bros. Let us see. This guy has some sort of fun thing going here. Oh, yeah. This one roars and sprints up. That is, Modor gets an attack of opportunity against it as he is braced. Oof. But the brick he braced the glaive against just skitters loose as he places the weapon towards the giant and doesn't actually do anything. Weapon just slides back. And then it swings at Cal.
DC 11 flat check.
DC 11 flat check. Will reflex fortitude.
Just DC 11 check.
Huh.
If it passes it, then it hits the gem first.
It hits the gem first. Let's see. Cal has a massive armor class right now, so it's not a critical, but it is a hit. Smacks her for 10. And how much of that does the gem take?
Gem takes 5 and explodes for 7 slashing damage on him.
Okay, so
Let me see again what my shield block, what my hardness for the shield is right now. Steel shield. Hardness 5, so it does not crack the hardness of my shield.
nope. And she takes no damage.
Correct.
Just whacks the shield good. The second one is just gonna smash at Preacher with his glaive.
On that note, I have now the disarming block.
Oh,
So when I shield block someone, I can try to disarm that enemy.
give us a roll.
Athletics, all right?
That is correct. It is now disarmed. The glaive spins away as Cal kind of just smacks it off and lands with a thump somewhere out in the darkness. The second skeleton, though, is that's the ogre that must have been a knight, and it is fast, swinging its glaive straight into Preacher's head for 28 damage. And then swinging at him again. This time he dodges it. And the last one is gonna attempt to charge Cherek, but I'm gonna say that's gonna be an athletics test for it first, which it succeeds, just easily jumps over that crypt, comes roaring up towards Cherek. It does hit him for 14 damage. I don't know if Leopold is here. His camera's gone, so I'm assuming he's doing grown-up stuff, but I will note that damage down for him. And finally, that takes us to Marisol, who was thinking about completely different things when this fight started and just was not quick on her feet.
I was still looking at the tracks. So, yeah, knowing that these are skeletons, and I've seen how little effect a normal bullet has on them, I'm gonna do my blunderbuss.
Out comes the shotgun. Okay.
Let's see. First of all, I'm gonna step down so I'm standing in a straight line to it rather than shooting next to Sarah. Somewhere around there, right?
That would be correct, yes. Yeah, it's big enough that sarcophagus is not going to give it any cover.
Great. Then I'll try to shoot.
Yeah, it is not the more controlled sound of the pistol. It is a giant kablooey. But you do hit. And I believe the blunderbuss has its own little special rule when it comes to this sort of thing.
Yeah. The damage I now deal can either be piercing or bludgeoning.
Yeah, whatever the target is weakest against. So roll your damage. Oh,
Minimum.
well, it loses a couple of ribs. And now we have what is called a GM bladder syndrome. So you will have 2 minutes or so to discuss strategy, and I'll be back in a moment.
I also have a shot more.
Hold on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Hmm.
I think we're just gonna take a 2-minute bathroom break because everybody's fleeing the scene. We'll see you guys here in a minute.
All right.
Fair.
Kicking ass for the Lord.
So there we go. Out of the darkness, next to Leopold, a shadowy creature.
Yeah. Marisol said she had another attack.
I know, it's been done. Coalesces. And it is going to try to touch Leopold inappropriately.
Ew.
Leopold actually dodges the first of the attacks. And the second. Whoa! Didn't see that coming. Well, that takes us to Cal.
Yeah. Cal is trying to attack that creature in front of her. With her Dwarven War Axe, which is sadly a slashing damage, but if it's high enough, who knows?
That's it. Yeah, she slashes at it, but she's shattering some ribs, but not really getting any massive damage.
All right. In that case, I will repeat what I did before, raising my shield and going into my Everstand stance.
Got it. And that takes us to Leopold.
Leo will use one turn to hunt prey on the shadow that's just appeared. Is there a lore skill I can roll for Monster Hunter?
Not for this, no. This would be a religion or undead knowledge, not monsters as such.
Fair. Okay. Okay, he is going to have a slash at it with his bloodletting kukri because it's a single-handed weapon and he doesn't need to drop his bow.
Well, that's a critical.
On top of that, the bloodletting kukri does 1d8 bleed damage every turn.
Yeah, that's not really something the shadow cares one whiff about. It doesn't bleed.
Yeah, it's kind of wasted. Sherek, I'll command Sherek to move up and flank it. And we'll give it a bite with the jaws.
Well, that's a hit.
8 from Sherek.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of ethereal stuff from it. But doesn't seem very effective. Edamir.
Okay. Seeing as Shattering Gem works so well, I'm going to cast it on Cal again. And then use Command and have Roarin attack twice.
Gotcha. There's one hit and one miss.
11 piercing.
Yeah, Roarin goes for it and seems to be doing okay damage with his jaws.
And that'll be it for me.
He does have strong jaws. And coalescing on top of the sarcophagus next to Roarin. It's a reddish mist. That is going to proceed to try to be unpleasant to him with its magic tendrils.
Yeah.
And it actually manages to miss him. Twice. Son of a biscuit. Huh, didn't see that coming. However, the exact same thing pops up next to Iodi. And it's going to try to smack him inappropriately with its misty tendril. And Iodi dodges. Son of a biscuit. Twice. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a wasted ambush. Iodi.
Beautiful. Iodi, now distracted by the fact that this vampiric mist thing, I will do my 1 bolt free magic missile to the guy that's swinging at me now.
Gotcha.
And then Iodi winks at the monster and he says, "It is not that easy to get Iodi and his friends." And he will tap himself and cast Mirror Image, splitting himself into 4 different images.
Right. There's now a lot of Eodes.
And me, for my last action, me and my boys, we will move to here. TM.
Gotcha. And that takes us to Preacher.
All right. Well, I have wasted enough time with this nonsense, this dude, so I supercharge myself, banging my chest once, and charge myself with positive life force. Key strike, flare blows. This guy is going down. I'm gonna do the powerful fist though, because this guy is obviously not too keen on slashing. So
Ooh.
first one says fail.
The first one, Preacher smacks a gravestone. I'm going to need a will save from you. DC 15.
Yeah, will do. Not a problem.
Not a problem. He feels the spirit's displeasure with him, but he does not get frightened. The second one is a hit.
That's actually a +1 additional in case that is.
No, you already had a critical success. So
Okay. Then it's a power fist with another d6 on top of that because of the key strike. So that's 13 damage.
another 13 damage. This one's starting to look pretty tattered. Pretty much only arms, legs, and a spine and a head left, but it's still up and running.
We have one more attack coming with +1 to this. This regular part. Oh my god, what am I doing?
Oof. I'm going to need a DC 20 acrobatics check for Preacher to avoid going prone as he slips on the gravestone he just smashed. Oops. Yeah, Preacher ends up on his ass.
Comedy.
And that takes us to Mador.
I'm gonna swing on the skeleton.
Gotcha. That is a hit. Slashing just does not seem to do what it should be doing to this thing, but it does chip a piece of a rib off.
I know, but that's all I got is slashing. So
17's a hit. Yeah, that's a better strike, at least taking off a couple of ribs. It's now starting to look pretty ragged. Oh! And on the third one, I'm going to need a attack on your lowest attack roll versus 15, or Mador is going to end up dropping his glaive.
now I got to roll a regular attack, but low.
Your third attack, yes, and you need to hit 15 or better. Nope. Mador ends up disarmed as the glaive slips in his hands, stuck between the ribs of the skeleton. Man, your dice are trying to kill you today. Zara.
I only live once.
I am in a half square. Am I adjacent to the giant skeleton or not adjacent? to
No,
the giant
you're
skeleton?
not adjacent to the giant skeleton. Actually,
I will
yeah.
take a 5-foot step there. to be
Gotcha.
adjacent. I will then make a duplicate of myself, flanking him.
Got it.
And then I shall bludgeon him.
That is a hit. I wasn't aware Zara had a Shatter Talon, but I'm a fan.
That's that weapon I had you make me.
Ah, right. There we are. You're going to have to describe what that
But I'm
weapon
gonna
looks
do
like.
it as bludgeoning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Zara takes a fair point of a fair bit of a bone off of that giant with that weapon. And that takes us to the giants. First one's going to swing at, takes a mighty swing at both Roran and Calisair in one go.
It's unarmed.
Its weapon.
Oh, that's right. It is unarmed. It doesn't have anything, so it's just going to take a, try to headbutt Calisair instead.
And the DC 11.
Yep, and it misses. And then it actually sticks its horns into the ground where they're stuck, and it counts as prone for the next turn. Wow, okay. Number 2 is going to be going at Preacher full tilt. Wow, it is a tough life being Preacher today. And that is another critical for 27.
Okay. That is 1 hit point away from...
Oh my god.
And then it's a swing and a miss. The third one is definitely going to go for Sarah, as she is by far the most dangerous opponent here currently. Hitting Sarah for 10 damage. And then missing on the second attack. And that takes us to Marisol and her shotgun.
Yeah, so boom, I
2 misses.
at the same number. Yeah.
Blam blam. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with those shots. Just trying to fire a weapon she's not that familiar with too quickly. And shooting the crap out of the sarcophagus and the bushes next to the giant. Which takes us to Shadow Bro, who's going to try to inappropriately touch Leopold again. If it's any consolation, my dice aren't exactly on fire either. But it does manage to hit him on the second attack for 9 negative energy damage. And Leo can feel the cold seeping into his bones as he's enfeebled 1 from that attack. If I can find enfeebled here. There we are. And that takes us to Cal.
Yeah, seeing that Preacher is in quite a predicament, I am going to raise my shield, and I am using my shielded stride to get next to him with my last 2 actions. Or even get a little bit in front of him. The shielded stride, since I have my shield raised, prevents me from getting attacks of opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to need a DC 10 athletics check from you to vault that fence, however.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Calisair just jumps it as if it isn't there.
Yeah.
You are in front of Preacher, so hopefully the skeleton will focus on you. Who knows? And now it is Leopold's turn.
And Leo will repeat his kukri attack on the shadow.
Gotcha. That is a hit.
Plus, remembered it this time. Oh, joy.
Plus, yeah, right. And it just goes into the shadow. Doesn't seem to actually do any damage to it.
And takes a second stab at it.
That's a hit.
For another 8. Last attack, last action is going to be given to Cherik.
Right. Cherik, bro, go.
Okay, Cherik takes 1 attack with the jaws.
That's it. Tears off some shadow stuff this time.
And he'll have a second go. Yeah.
Big ol' miss. Edamir.
I'm going to move there.
Gotcha.
Heightened spell heal on Preacher. With 2 actions.
Gotcha. So that'd be 2d8 plus 8 to Preacher. 19 hit points back.
Oof.
And I will have Roran attack the skeleton.
Yeah, because he's got one free attack. That is actually a miss.
All right, that'll be it then.
This mist is going to attack Roran. Son of a biscuit. Just misses him twice. And the other mist is going to just kind of float up to Yodi. And then seems to get caught in some sort of swirl of air, so it just spins around like a little blood mist tornado for a while, wasting its time before it pulls out of it. And it's Iodi's turn.
Yes, still holding my wand gloriously, I will pew this thing that is chasing me once more.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Preacher got an extra 8 because of the heightened.
Okay.
So he heals another 8 on top of that.
Right. Iodi pews the mist again, and this time it dissipates with a sort of strangled scream.
Perfect. Then Iodi will reach into his pocket and pull what appears to be just like a small little ball of fire. He will point it at the shadow, the mist down below, and the minotaur down there. And I will do a 3-action Scorching Ray.
Gotcha. That is a hit. That is a hit. And that is... Oh, so close. That is a hit. As he hits the shadow, it screeches and dissipates. The mist takes a fair amount of damage, it looks like, from the fire. It seems to boil the blood out of the mist, causing more damage than you'd expect it to do. And, yeah, another piece of the skeleton giant's frame just pops from the heat as Iodi's fire hits it. That takes us to Preacher.
Right. Well, standing up is a good idea.
Yep.
That's an action, and then step back in to hit this guy.
Right. You are still in range when you get up, so only costs you 1 action.
Okay. So we're going to flurry in that case. Boom, 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 boom.
That is 1 hit and 1 critical.
Yeah. 1 hit. 1 critical.
Wow. Total of 41. Damn. Yeah, that skeleton giant never knows what hits it, as Preacher just goes in, shatters both its hips, and then just with a flurry of blows demolishes its entire upper body as it starts falling down. Skeleton bits flying everywhere. Sounds like somebody's playing a xylophone for a little while. Mador.
Thank you. Good call.
Right now, is my glaive still in the skeleton?
Yeah, you can just spend 1 turn to grab it. Or 1 action to grab it, not a turn.
All right, I'll do that.
It's not smart enough to actually try to keep the glaive from you. That's it. This time he tears a lot of skeletal bits out of that thing. And that's it. And on the second strike, takes its head off, and the thing falls down. No longer a threat. Zara.
Excellent. I'm going to create a duplicate of myself to gain flanking bonus again.
Gotcha. That's a critical.
First swing.
And Zara just smacks that thing straight down in one swing. Skeletal bits spraying everywhere, giving you that xylophone effect again for a little moment. Which takes us to...
And for my last
Zara.
action,
Yep.
I will do a esoteric lore on the vampiric mist.
Go for it, sir. Oh, yeah. This thing not only has dark vision, but it can sense blood out to about 60 feet, making it very difficult to hide from. It's immune to precision damage, weak to fire, and has resistance to physical. You know that it can siphon blood, making people weaker and making itself stronger and tougher. It can also fly and squeeze into anything bigger than 1 inch in diameter.
End of my turn.
That takes us to Marisol.
Yeah, Marisol has no idea if her weapons can do anything against this mist thing, but she's gonna step out and to not shoot over people's head. And try to shoot it.
Gotcha. That's a critical. Yeah, Marisol loads her blunderbuss and just takes it straight out of the sky. Well, this thing seemingly resistant to most physical damage, just a heck of a lot of buckshot hitting it at the same time. Seems to do be pretty effective at killing it.
Cal turns around to Preacher. Do not run out alone.
Seemed a good idea at the time, so you wouldn't get overwhelmed. It's kind of my business to try and hold the flank for a moment.
In front of you, you can see a crypt with a purplish light coming out of it, and what looks like the withered corpse of a gnome with some lockpicks, still halfway melted to the door.
That's where we're going.
And on that note, we will end today's session.
Hey.
So thank you everybody for joining. The videos, recaps of the sessions are now, or the full sessions are now coming up on YouTube. That is Pathfinding Adventures on YouTube. We have the first 2 episodes up, but the rest of the episodes will be up by Tuesday. We will be back next Sunday for some more Pathfinding adventures. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and be well. We will let Tolmar, our fantastic main streamer, find somebody's raid. And we will see you all next time. Have a fantastic week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Rules.